five Sedgwicks were a traveling vaudevillian family from Galveston, Texas. Ed Sr. and Josephine toured with their three children, Edward, Josie, and baby Eileen. Mostly performing in the South because of child labor laws, the family soon packed up their bags and headed to the Broadway Theater District of Los Angeles. By 1916, the three Sedgwick siblings were actively working in silent pictures.
Josie and Eileen both got into serials. They were both considered to be Westerns because they came from Texas. They'd never been on a horse in their life, but they had to learn how to ride a horse real fast. They were all in a lot of little short movies before they got into better parts, so Eileen was a whole bunch of short subject type thing, and then her first break was The Lure of the Circus. So they replaced her with my mother. And then she made, 10 more after that.
Eileen did her own stunts for a movie called The Diamond Queen. A walking plank was built over the Bunker Hill Tunnel to create the illusion of being suspended high above the streets of Los Angeles. Despite the illusion, a brave Eileen continues to perform 20 feet above the set.
She walked across a plank between two buildings, which is still about 20 feet off the ground, because it's a picture that has a net laying on the ground. Well, that's daring enough, and they didn't have stunt doubles, so they did their own stuff.
Josie, unlike her sister, was cast mostly in westerns and worked with leading men Will Rogers, Hoot Gibson, and prize fighter Jack Dempsey.
You mentioned about Jack Dempsey. I think she bought a car for Jack Dempsey, a Mormon. And that's the car that she didn't know how to drive, so she couldn't stop it, so she's going to work at Triangle and stopped by crashing into the gates at the studio. In fact, it's worse by my mother. She was finally stopped, wasn't allowed to drive anymore. She used to crash into store windows because no one needed a license in those days. She also drove with her father in the car into they were digging a ditch in the street on Hollywood Boulevard. She actually drove into the hole, down the length of the block, and out of the hole again.
Edward Sedgwick became a leading comedy actor and was often cast as the poor man's Fatty Arbuckle. By 1920, he made a successful transition into directing.
When Buster Keaton was convinced by his brother-in-law, Joseph Skank, to sign with MGM and get rid of his own studio, which was a mistake for Buster Keaton, my uncle directed him in like 4 or 5 movies in a row, from the late silent movies to the early talking movies.
1928 marks the end of an era for Eileen and Josie when talking pictures become the new standard. The girls semi-retire, and Edward moves on to direct Keaton in his first talking picture, The Cameraman.
That was the first picture I believe he made when Keaton moved to MGM. That was a big success. In fact, they went to New York and did some location shooting, but they caused such a big confusion he had to come back to Los Angeles. Because he couldn't control the crowds looking at the shooting, And he played studio camera. No, he wanted to be a cameraman. That's what it was. I don't know a plot or anything. It was quite successful, and he made about 4 more.
The three Sedgwicks were truly pioneers of the silent era. The magic of this trio continues to bring smiles and laughter to those timeless moments captured on screen.